All right, we are here celebrating Black History Month. 10 years of Solar Streets with the legend, the one and only Mr. Glenn Jones. Welcome to the Solar Streets, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, sir.
It's such a pleasure to have you here on the show. You may not remember me, but I remember you not just for your music, but I got a chance to meet you back in 1992 in
Wow.
Atlanta with Charles Gear.
Oh man, that's my dude. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, on
yeah.
your Here I Go Again run.
Right,
I,
right.
I was with a brother by the name of Willie Hunter. He wrote for the Georgia Sentinel.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he took me along, and we went and we had some good groceries because Charles always makes sure.
He was gonna feed you if nothing else and give you something to drink, that Buffalo Rock,
Yeah, yeah.
soda.
We had that good old soul food in Atlanta, and it was a good time, and it was just a pleasure to meet, and that album was fire. So it
Thank
was
you.
very well received as well. And did that
Mhm.
album changed my helped me because I got to meet Louise West
Oh,
because
yeah, my manager.
yes, because you had her information on the back of your CD.
Okay, okay.
And I called her, and when I moved back to New York, she was one of the first people that I met with in 1993 when I came to New York. So salute to you,
Right.
Mr. Jones, because you inspired me to be doing what I'm doing, continuing to do what I do right now, because that's a story that I continue to tell people when I get a chance.
Glad to hear that.
Yes, yes. So you've had an amazing journey on this R&B, or the amazing R&B journey. And how did it all begin for you? I know you started in like 1980 with Norman Connors. Like how did that start? What was the bug that made you get into this
Well,
business?
I've always done music, but I was doing music in gospel.
Okay.
And I formed a group from Jacksonville, Florida called the Modulations, and I started writing songs and ended up meeting the renowned Reverend James Cleveland, and
Nice.
yeah, he heard me sing, and I went to meet him at his house up in Hollywood Hills. I was really excited, and we got around the piano and started singing. And the next thing I know, he was calling the record label, which was Savoy Records back in those days,
Mm-hmm.
and telling them that he was going to take me in the studio to record a record and send the contract. So, uh,
All right.
yeah, took me into RPM, Ray Charles' studio in LA, and recorded that first album, which was entitled "With a Made Up Mind." And after that, I did another album called "Feel the Fire," and that
Okay.
was the album. That was the album that Norman Connors got a chance to hear. He loved it, and he asked me to meet with him and asked me if I would consider doing a record called "Melancholy Fire" that was coming up on his new project.
Okay.
And at the time, Norman was recording for Arista Records, and I told him sure, and he flew me out to California. I did the record. It came out as a second single from that project. Um, the um, the single started to do well. It
Okay.
went to like top 15, you know, and that's when I started getting offers from record labels, and so RCA offered me a deal. I took it,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that was the beginning of everything.
Nice, nice, nice. So were
Yeah.
you did you want to become a solo artist, or were you just singing just because you can sing, and people just love to hear you sing, or was that something you wanted to pursue, or it just happened for you?
Well, the guys that I was singing with, we were good friends. And I loved them, but there was always a problem. That group dynamic sometimes is hard to deal with, and
Right.
I was doing everything anyway. I was writing all those songs, and pretty much when I was, doing the group thing, I was, standing back, pretty much, teaching the guys the songs and letting them sing, and I kept having to find a new lead singer. So my
Okay.
brother, who was managing me
Wait,
at the
wait.
time,
You wasn't the only lead singer. Like you can only be the lead singer. Like why you needed another one with a voice as golden as yours?
I wasn't lead singing then, man. I was just,
What?
caught up in. writing songs and teaching the music to the guys, and I was playing guitar. And
Okay.
my brother, who was my manager, came to me and said, "Man, you need to go out and do your own thing." And I decided to take a stab at that.
Oh, I can't hear you.
And I started touring with him, doing dates. And I went from, back in those days, doing gospel, it was like, the van and trailer thing. I was
Okay.
driving and I had a trailer on the back of my van. I was just working hard, man. And then when I got with Norman, I said, okay, I can get into, the tour bus, thing, the nice hotels
The
and,
stuff you hear
you
about.
know,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. I can sit back now. And it took off, man. It really took off. And I
it
got a
really
chance.
did. It really did. You've had a
Yeah.
string of this classic singles that just
Yeah.
changed and contributed to R&B the journey. It's just amazing,
Thank
amazing.
you.
Who were some of your if who? Because when people ask me who my favorite singers are, I say Donny Hathaway and yourself.
Phew,
And you know what I'm saying.
man.
And as far as the singing, like the straight voice, like before I
Yeah.
even knew what a songwriter or was, like just y'all voices was just like amazing to me. So just as a singer, you
Yeah.
and Donnie are like my go to when I just speak of vocals. So when
Dude.
this opportunity was brought back to me to speak with you, I was like, heck yeah! Like I got some stuff to say to Mr. Jones because he really inspired me to to do this music thing. So
Yeah.
who are your influences as a vocalist?
Donny Hathaway.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
He was my favorite. Donny Hathaway, um, Rance Allen, Aretha Franklin, Bobby Womack, Marvin Gaye. So many great singers back in
Yeah.
those times, man. It wasn't about, the little tricks and magic that you could pull off in the studio. It was like what we call 10 toes on the floor. That means
Okay.
flat foot singing. And I was inspired by that. Stevie Wonder, I can never
Yeah. Stevie.
forget Stevie.
Stevie is definitely one of my. He's just a genius, but like he's just more than just a singer. Like he writes his the way he moves, the way he inspires everybody when he just walk in the building. It's just like it's just crazy.
Yeah,
Like, but when it's just vocals, it's like you and Donnie for me. You and Donnie just for
thank
vocals.
you,
Like y'all vocals are just ridiculous. Like
thank you, thank you.
so it's a God. It's a God. I mean, Stevie's a God gift too, but I'm just talking straight vocals for me.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that gospel background is a big part of that because it's like just from the soul.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if I sing "Mary Had a Little Lamb." I'm gonna put that thing on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, if you think Mary had a little lamb, she may have another one. I'm sure
yeah,
you created a lot of lambs out here for Marys out here with the
yeah.
music. So
I have been accused of that, man. I don't know. Yeah,
but it's just great to to be able to speak with you with the type of career that you've had from Show Me to We've Only Just Begun. At last stay. I mean, you've had just a string of just bangers that was. I mean, you even work like I just got to jump. How was it working with Timmy Allen? Because I got to meet him a few decades back. Like I know you worked with Timmy Allen. Like, what was that experience like?
yeah.
Because he was doing his thing out here.
Timmy Allen is the bomb, man. And the thing that I really liked about working with Timmy is that not only was he a great musician and songwriter, but he understood vocals, because
Mm,
he can sing himself. And lots of times when you're working on a record and you're being produced, um, to have somebody that really understands vocals, it's always a plus. And it was great, man, working with Timmy. Matter of fact, we about to try to work on a thing right now that
nice.
some people spoke to me about doing. So yeah, that was a great combination working with Timmy Allen.
Yeah, because he brought you into that New Jack Swing a little bit
Yeah,
when it was coming. So were you having so much success with the ballads? Was it doing the up tempos? Was that something that was difficult to find those type of grooves for you, or Uh, how did
Uh,
the
it was pretty easy because that kind of thing was Timmy's niche, you
hmm
know, and Timmy was really into that 808 sound. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So he'd put those beats together, and to me, at last was one of the best songs I recorded with him.
yeah.
And at the time, I was with Jive Records, and I got on my knees and begged them, please, please, let me release this as a single. They told me no. They said it's just a
Right.
groove.
I always wondered why, because that song was like one of my favorites off the project.
Yeah, they said it was just a groove, but I mean that's what music is supposed to be.
Right.
Supposed to be a groove, right? And now when you fast forward to these times, you know, uh pretty much that's the way they do records. I mean, there are not a lot of changes and on
hmm
this, but once you get the groove happening and put it in that pocket, that's what people want. They want to be able to dance on it. So but it was still a great record. It made a great impression on a lot of people because even though they didn't officially release it as a single in New York City,
Thank
Kiss
God for
Up.
Quiet Storm, right?
Yeah, yeah, but hey, look, this was something that they were playing during drive time.
Yeah,
You know,
true, true.
yeah, it was a big record in New York and Chicago. This guy named Barry Mayo, who was the program director of Kiss FM,
hmm
he made that record, a big record in New York and Chicago and Detroit, and mostly, like a lot of the places that love the steppers, music and the two hand, the two hand dance music. That was
hmm
a big record in that circuit.
Okay. So now when you take it back a little bit, so when you recorded "Show Me," when that song came to you, did you write that song?
No, my good friend Lala, her real
Lala.
name, yeah,
Wow.
LaFarris Cope. She's the same writer who wrote
You
"You
give
Give
good
Good
love.
Love" on
Yeah.
Women. Hey man, like I heard that record, "You Give Good Love" first because Lala lived right around the corner from me when I lived in
Wow.
Queens, and she played it. I begged for that record, man. I was like, "You
You
gotta
give
let
good
me have
love.
it." Yeah, and she said
You
no.
should still do it today.
Uh, she said no. She said there's this new girl signed to Clive Davis, and this is for her. She said, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got something else. And then she played "Show Me."
Woo!
Yeah, great, great.
Wow. So you knew that song was a smash from the
I knew
from
it.
the video.
I knew it. I knew it. Yeah.
Was that the first single that was the first hit for you, right?
Well, I did a record. I did an EP before that album, before the Finesse album. I did an
Okay.
EP, and my first single from that was "I Am Somebody," which had Reverend Jesse Jackson on the track, doing his famous "I Am Somebody" chant.
hmm
And we actually dedicated part of the proceeds from that. And then I came back with a record called "Keep On Doing," which was produced by Al McKay from Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's when he
Okay.
first left the group, and he started
Okay.
his production company. Cold blooded record, man. My at the time she was my lady. Eventually became my wife, but Genovia Jeter, she
Yes,
was
yes, the
she
Queen.
sung on that record. Yeah, she sung on that record with me. And at first they were like, "No, we just want you to do it. We want you to do it." I said, "No, just give her a chance, man." So when she stepped in there, man, and opened her mouth and blew everybody away, one take, she
That
did
duet
that.
y'all did on the "All for You" album is crazy.
Uh,
Like I
endless,
listened to
endlessly. No, no,
no,
that was.
like you. Oh
Uh,
man, it's I listened to it today. It's on the album with Stay because I was getting the albums mixed up. Oh,
okay, you got me, man.
like you used to. I'm gonna get it. Hold on, cause I had it. Hold on, I got it.
What did I do? You talking about a lot of years ago, man.
I know, but we're gonna bring it back. That's how love should be.
Ah, yeah, yeah, I wrote that. I wrote that song. And
That song was on repeat. I was like, that may not become a single, but that was a single in my house. 'Cause-
man, if that song was crazy, man, because shortly after that, I went on tour. I went to the UK. I played in London and Manchester, and we played at this event called the Weekender. And
okay.
we dropped that song, man, in the house. As a matter of fact, when we did it, Dave Hollister was singing background for me.
Wow,
And
that makes sense. I was gonna say
yeah,
like you gotta have like I'm sure all the
yeah.
great vocalists that came out after you sang background for you because it's like you didn't have no cheesy background singing. You couldn't.
No, man, I was fortunate. I had some great background singers, and I had great musicians and
Yeah,
co-writers on my records, and producers and stuff. Yeah,
yeah. Amazing, amazing R&B story, man. Just a dope artist that's blessed the R&B culture. Like, where would R&B be without Mr. Glenn Jones? Like, do
oh
you feel
man.
you're unsung? Do you feel you get the
Uh,
credit you deserve,
well, I mean, the TV
or
One
does that
did
even
a
matter?
TV One did a unsung episode on me, which was great, because I wanted people to know my story. But there've been times when I felt like that because
Okay,
I've always, my main objective has always been to do a great record, do a good record, and maintain my vocals, and for people to be able to appreciate the uh, the talent that I have and the level of performance on my records. I'm serious about that. And
yeah.
usually I usually make the mark.
No, you definitely come through with the vocals and the great classics, R&B classics. So
Yeah.
after Show Me the I think the next project that you came out with, I don't know if it's the next project, but I believe it was that We've Only Just Begun that I remember where I remember your name. That's when I understood who Glenn Jones was that project, that We've Only Just Begun project, which had At Last, and that was a dope time in R&B. I think that was like 87. You
Yeah,
probably don't
that
remember the
was
year. I don't
87.
know.
That's 87. No, you're right. You're right.
Okay, because I remember I bought your album, I bought Alexander O'Neal album, uh,
Oh,
that
Alex.
album of the Sunshine, that the Hearsay album, I believe Keith Sweat album was out at the time. I mean, 87
Yeah.
was it. That was the year when I like the second year I started buying my own records and stuff like that. So it's like I
Yeah.
remember what I purchased, and that was in
Yeah.
that was in my collection. So that was a
Yeah.
good time for myself. So when you did We've Only Just Begun, who produced that one? That
Timmy
um
Allen.
Timmy Allen did that one too, right?
Yeah, but he and I we wrote the song together. We collabed on the songwriting together.
Yeah, that was now that song. I mean, what was that session like? Come bringing that song to life, cause that's another one that's like,
It was great because that was the first time uh, I'd ever worked with Timmy. First time I ever wrote with him, and you know, uh, somehow, that song was just it was fresh. It was just right on time, and
yeah,
working with Timmy, on the vocals, and then I got a chance to really show my range, on the record, and that record did a lot for my career.
a lot of damage out here. It's a
Yeah,
staple in R&B. You
it
have
is.
how do you know how many staples you have? You have a lot of them. Must be nice.
I don't know, man, but then, there are times when, other songs, like what people consider to be B-side songs,
Oh yeah, I'm
you know,
gonna get into that one. I got a favorite B side as well. That's just like,
yeah,
oh my god.
yeah, right, yeah.
You got some bangers. But I mean, let's get into the B side. My favorite B side from you, outside of the one with you and your wife, is "In You." That song is fire, fire, fire.
Hey, again, I begged the label to release that as a single,
Oh my god.
and they didn't do it, but that's been one of the songs that I've been most proud of, because and so many couples getting married have
Yeah,
used that song. I remember having a conversation uh with Yolanda Adams, and she was telling me about when she and her husband joined, in marriage, that was one of his favorite songs.
Really? All right.
Yeah, beautiful song, man.
That
I
was an
wrote that.
amazing project album. Like, when, how did you put that album together? Because every song, it seemed like you wasn't going for no misses on that project. You and Bernard Bell. I mean, I know he didn't do the whole album, right?
No,
But he did
he
a
did.
nice amount of songs on there. But y'all wasn't. I felt like that album was the Glenn Jones album of the year.
Yeah, I felt like that too. Bernard and I, we wrote "In You" together, and then we wrote "I've Been Searching" together. And
Oh,
there's another song on there that's entitled "Call Me." "Call
oh, he
Me" is
called
cold blooded.
me. Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
and I wrote that with Bernard and my co-producer Ray Watkins from
Yes.
Here I Go Again. You know,
Rest in peace, Bernard Bell, the great.
yeah, yeah. Bernard was amazing, man, and there were a couple of guys from Washington D.C., two twin brothers that they wrote and produced a couple of things, and then Kenny Lattimore was even a co-writer on a couple of things, and he sang
Okay.
back was on some of the stuff, you know. So I just it was like I wanted to have a record that you didn't have to skip over songs, you
You
know, like
didn't.
wherever the needle fell, you just kept, just yeah, you're going about your business on a Saturday, cleaning your house and whatever, but just I wanted everything to be really, cohesive and um, Ray Watkins and I did a song called "Baby Come to Me," which
Mm.
was a smoker. It was a smoker, and I think I have probably sung that song one time in my life, in a live concert setting. But
Hmm.
that's one of my favorite songs too.
Yeah. That album, it felt like. Did you feel like you had something to prove when you was recording that album, or that just was the energy? Was this the like just no skips? Like, cause it just seemed like you didn't. When I got, cause I had bought the We've Only Just Begun album, and that album was nice. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was nice. And then the All For You album, it was cool. It was nice. I was like, okay, okay. And then
Yeah,
when you came out with that, then you got the new situation with Atlantic, and then you came out with a whole
yeah,
new regime and just whole new energy, vibe,
yeah,
and everything. It was like, wait a minute now. Oh, this is about to be
yeah,
this is what we're talking about. So
yeah.
was that like a conscious effort sonically to, or did you feel like you had something to prove on that particular project?
Well, I wanted to establish uh, a a sound, like a signature sound, for
Hmm.
my records, and I think I was able to do that. But you
Hmm.
in the All For You album, which is a project that Timmy Allen and Barry Eastman worked on
Yes.
with me, and the title track All For You is so huge in South Africa. All For You. Uh, that may be all I need to know. That song there, man. It's like it's amazing how after all these years, that record is fire right
Mm.
now in South Africa. That's why I've been back and forth so much because the people love it.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense because I mean, you have one of those voices, one of those gifts that just it's gonna always work. the,
Well,
the
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 great
music.
thing, the main thing is to have great songs and great production. So I couldn't have done that, without them working with me.
I was always wondering, like, when the group, I forget the name of the group's name, when they came out with the Stay, when they did a cover of Stay, how
Yeah,
did you feel
yeah,
about that? Because it was like maybe 2 or 3 years after you came out with it, and the
yeah.
ladies came out with it. I forget the name of their group, but how did you like that? Not so much how you like the version, but how did you feel about the cover your song?
Well, I mean, to me, it was a compliment. I
Okay,
mean, to do a song that some young ladies from the UK wanted to do, and sometimes people forget that that song was a hit record for me because that was top five
yeah.
Billboard. Yeah, top five Billboard song.
Yeah, that definitely was I mean, I bought it, and I pride
Okay.
myself in buying hits. So
Yeah.
that kept me out of harm's way. I say R&B kept me out of harm's way. So I mean, a lot of you guys'
Mm,
music just kept me focused and wanting to
yeah.
stay clear of the things that was out there that could have got
Yeah.
into. So I
Right.
appreciate you guys for just following y'all dreams because it allowed me to find mine. And here I am today talking to the legend himself,
Yeah.
celebrating Black History
Beautiful.
Month. So how does
Right.
Black History Month how do you feel about Black History Month? How do you celebrate it this year per se?
I think it's something that is very significant because of the contribution that we have given, whether it's been in civil rights or entertainment, music, acting, movies, and all of that. Matter of fact, I was looking at the James Brown uh, documentary last night, and
Okay.
I'm DVRing it right now because it was just amazing, man. That dude, and in the era where he came along, I was a young kid, and he was Mr. Excitement. Every time I knew he was on television, I ran, and I just I admire he was an entrepreneur, he's a businessman. He owned his label and his records, and he was producing and writing and all of that. And that's the thing that I've aspired to, was to be able to, express myself creatively and have
Hmm.
some say so and have some control over that.
Nice, nice. So, oh man, I mean, I feel like you are a part of this Black History Month for myself because you're here on the Soul of the
Yeah.
Streets, and
All right.
it's just it's just an honor to be able to speak to our R&B legends and who contributed so much. So you what you said about James Brown, that's how I feel about you and all the other greats that came with
Uh,
you and before you, and some after you, like I feel like Joe is a great. He reminds me of you, Joe.
uh, I love that dude, man.
Yeah,
And I've had,
I got the same background for him. Back when he was back in like what year was that? That was like 1990 when he did "Don't Want to Be a Player" when he was out during that
woo,
time. Yeah, I did
yeah,
background for him then, and then
beautiful.
and I feel like Little G from Silk. I feel like he's
Um,
one of your sons in the vocal.
Yeah,
In the,
yeah, he is. He personally told me that. He said that he aspired to sing, to follow me because he was inspired by my singing. Joe has made that statement, about me.
yeah,
Several of the younger artists, and sometimes you don't really know who you're influencing, but then every now and then you can listen to somebody sing, you can say, oh, they kind of sound like me a little bit,
right, right.
but I,
That's why I asked, do
I
you
never took
feel?
it for granted though.
Yeah, that's why I want to know. Do you feel unsung? Because I just know the talent that you have and the other talent that's come after you. Like you could
Mhm.
tell when somebody really, really listens to people who can really sing
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
as a singer, and those guys can really sing. It's like you wasn't listening to
yeah.
this the bubblegum stuff. You was listening to the real soul right there. You
Well,
know.
I guess because I was fortunate enough to come along at a time where, when that was what music was about, like, establishing yourself, developing your own sound, and that's why, even when it comes down to covering other people's songs,
Hmm.
if I cover a song, I'm gonna go at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make it mine. Matter of fact, I have a new single that we dropped about going on 2 weeks ago. The group Switch. I was a big fan of theirs back
Oh
in the
yeah.
day, and they had a song called "I Want to Be Closer." So my friend Eric Nolan and
Hmm.
myself, we just did a remake, and we even featured a guy named Tony Exum Jr. And the record is really being received well, man. It's beautiful.
Yes, it
Eric
is.
is part of the OJs. He's been with the OJs for 28
Nice,
years.
nice.
Yeah, and he's a good, he's just he's serious about what he does, and he's a good singer. He's a good guy, and a lot of that falsetto stuff
Oh
that
yeah.
we used to hear, a long time ago. We don't hear it like that anymore, but that record, Want to Be Closer, was the record where Philip Ingram and Bobby DeBarge, were doing their thing. They killed it. So
Oh
we
yeah.
dropped that, man. We just wanted to do a classic R&B song, and that's what we did.
And that's what you did. It's on my playlist, Solar Streets, that you could hear this Sunday.
Okay.
It's fire. It's fire. I'm supporting it here. So you inspired me to push music. I was like, it's too much goodness out here. It's like
Yeah.
you just have to hear this fire that's being produced out here. So, and I'm thankful
Mm.
that I have a creative platform where I can do that. So Sunday it will definitely be on the Solar Streets, and y'all did an amazing job. Made it a whole nother level of a classic because the original is ridiculous, and I was
Yeah.
like, y'all did y'all thing on this one. I was like, okay, okay.
Yeah. Well, I talked to the guys from Switch, and they really are happy. They love the song. They love what we did with it. So, yeah.
Do you have a favorite Glenn Jones song?
Um, probably wouldn't be anything that you would know because it wasn't a single,
Oh,
but
okay.
like we were talking about the B-side songs, some of those songs are my favorite songs, like Every Time I Try to Walk Away, and like you said, And You,
Hmm.
um, uh, quite a few of them, man, quite a few of
Yeah.
them.
So is it hard to do you perform those songs on your show today, or you just
Yeah, yeah, I do, but the main thing is that, you got to do the classic hits that they know. If you don't, you're going to be in trouble,
right?
so
Yeah.
I always do that. And, I hit a little bit of this or that. But when we were talking about Donny Hathaway, I'd sing a couple of his songs, like More Than You'll Ever Know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I love singing that, man. And I usually, talk to the fellas when I sing that because sometimes women say that men are too hush mouth and they don't really understand how much we appreciate them and love them. And by the time I finish singing that song, they understand.
Yeah. So out of your classic Glenn Jones hits, do you have a favorite classic hit of yours?
Probably, probably I've been searching.
Okay.
Yeah, that's usually the last song in my set.
Yeah. That's a good one. I think my favorite hit of yours would be Here I Go Again.
Well,
Here, yeah, Here
yeah,
I Go Again. That one I was like when I mean I've been searching was a good follow up to it. Like it kept it going, kept that momentum going. Because I was
yeah.
like, that's what I felt like at last what it did with We've Only Just Begun. And so I
It
felt like
would
y'all
have.
they got the system right in how they was releasing the songs. And I was like, okay,
Right.
yeah, he ain't playing. He on the string. He on. They
Yeah,
they are
man.
not playing. They don't figured it out, and we about to have just a whole Glenn Jones ever here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so are you excited? Are you still excited about the music today?
Yes, I am, man. I'm always excited about it. And I get more excited when it's time to play live, with my unit, my band.
Hmm.
That's an amazing thing. And I love doing that because I can play whatever song I want to play. And I infuse other stuff in my show. I even get a chance to do some gospel, which is
Hmm.
my first love. That's my root. That's where I come from. And I just get a chance to be me, express
Yeah,
that spiritual side.
right. I know the industry has changed so much since you first started and then along the way since you've been in the game. How do you feel about the changes in the industry today?
Well, I can appreciate the whole independent thing. Uh, the only problem is that, with an independent situation, you got to be able to fund the record, I mean, to really, be able to work the record and get exposure for it. And, that
Right.
takes money, you know. But it's uh it's cool to be able to cut whatever kind of record I want. That's the best part about it.
That's the so is there like a new project, album? Would you think you would release another album, or you just gonna be doing singles?
I have an EP entitled Love by Design, which I did it with Regina Bell. She and I did a song on the album.
Nice,
And
nice, nice.
I did a song, a remake with featuring Nick Coleon, the great late Nick Coleon, great, jazz guitar player. And got a couple of songs that Chucky Booker produced on the
Yes,
project, And I'm excited about that. The main
I'm
thing
excited
about
about it too.
the
No, no, for
main
real. Because I remember when I met with Louise years ago. I said, it'd be dope if he did a song with Regina Bell, and she was like, yeah, that was like in '93, and
yeah,
then
but
to
I
see
actually
y'all
have
come
two
together
songs.
is so
I
dope.
got two songs with Regina. I cut a song with Regina some years ago called From Now On. It's a
Hmm.
ballad, kind of like a wedding song, and Barry Eastman produced it. Cold blooded, man. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful song.
Yeah, I knew y'all together would be amazing because y'all both sing y'all butts off. So it was,
Yeah,
and you could just feel the passion the way she sings. She's just amazing, and
yeah.
yeah, she's beautiful. I got to see her in concert before she opened up for Freddie Jackson on Broadway
Okay,
one time in New York, and
okay. Good.
yeah, and that was a great performer, great show. I didn't. I wish I would have got the chance. I was moving around too much. I never got a chance to see you live, but I hopefully you'll be in New York performing or somewhere close by because I will definitely be supporting.
Well, we're working on some dates for New York, and I've been doing that whole city winery circuit.
Okay,
Been doing that. So probably the one in New York is probably one of three markets that I haven't played city winery yet.
okay. Is New York? Because what all the great R&B artists like we don't get to see them in New York that often. Is New York? What's going on with New York? New York? They don't have no more
Uh,
promoters. What's going on?
I don't
they,
know, man. You
they
gotta
phone
ask
the
them,
radio
man.
play the music, but they don't bring the artists out anymore like they used to. Like where's the disconnect?
I don't know, man. I think the last time that I played in New York was probably at the BB King spot, which that's been gone for a while, right?
Yeah, that's been going for a long time.
Yeah, I did a show there with Peebo Bryson,
Oh,
Norman
nice.
Connors, and I think I think Bob Baldwin was on the show.
Okay.
But I've always loved playing in New York, man. They always gave me a lot of love. I remember playing back in the day down at there's a venue downtown. I can't think of
The
it right
Beacon?
now. I played the Beacon several times. Yeah, I
Okay.
did that. Yeah,
Have you done? I know. I mean, I got footage of you at the Apollo when you did the Showtime and you body bagged that. That was fire.
yeah. I used to enjoy the lady that was on the front
Yeah, I was
row.
gonna say
The one, the lady that would grab your pants leg and
yes,
all
yes, yes. I
that.
know Mr. Novia didn't like that too much, but hey,
Yeah. Hey, that's a part of the business,
that's
brother.
part of. If you book
Yeah,
if you book if you play at the Apollo, you have to expect her to
yeah,
come up there to be up front and center and pull your pants down.
yeah. I used to play the bottom line downtown. I used to play. It was another club in Midtown. It's been so many years, but
Yeah.
no, New York was always a great market for me to play.
Nice. Well, when you come to New York, you got to come to the Sugar Bar, the Ashland Simpson spot. Have you been there?
I've been there before, but I went there to hang out with Nick and Val because
Yeah.
I did I did their radio show. I did a live recording, uh, on their radio show.
Okay.
I had some some rhythm players, acoustic guitar playing and some keys and some congas. And I took three singers in there and we recorded live. And so after we finished doing the radio show, we went and hung out at the Sugar Bar,
Okay.
lots of fun. Yeah.
Yes, I'll be hosting there for my birthday on April 11th, so it's gonna be fun.
Great. Yeah.
Love to get some of that good old food and the good vibes, the
Yeah.
good vibes. So, but I mean,
Yeah.
you have been a stand up male artist in my journey of someone to watch. You know, what I mean, a man just
Thank
being
you.
a man and You know what I mean? Singing the
Mm,
songs, living the songs, just being true to the lyrics that
yeah,
you write and that you perform. You've been a great example of what a male vocalist should strive for. So I hope if you ever feel unsung that you know that you have inspired many vocalists, songwriters, male artists, and just to be men in the game, you know. So thank you
thank you,
so much
bro.
for
Thank you.
being 100%, you know,
I
because
appreciate
we
it.
don't have that many. We have a lot, but not many that we can, you know, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, hey, look, I got you, Brian. I got you.
You know,
You
like
know,
you, Jeffrey Osborne, Peebo. You know, it's a lot
and
of y'all that really speak to the, you know, that really held it down for us. And you know, and as a youngin, you know, I just want to say thank you for being that example. And because it's a lot of, you know, it's crazy out here.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's a lot of crazy stuff in the world right now. Anyway,
Hmm. And you represent it. I thank you so much, Mr. Jones, for this full circle moment for myself. And this is going to be amazing because I believe Louise's birthday was 2 days ago. So,
wow, I
um,
missed that.
yeah, so I'm gonna send her this interview, and
Yeah,
hopefully
make sure
she
you
gets.
send it. Make sure you send it to me too.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
definitely,
Weezy.
definitely.
Hey, Weezy. Yeah,
Definitely, because that's what I call it. Hey, Weezy. So
right,
it's
right.
been a minute, man, since I've got a chance to actually see it. But God willing, I hope she's doing great,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
glad to see that you're doing well and still putting
yeah,
out great music, and
yeah.
just being an inspiration. Continuing to be inspired to put out great music, and thank you, man. I just This has been another for Black History Month. I'm celebrating 10 years of my podcast, Soul the Streets, and
Wow.
I play music from up and coming artists, and I'm, you know, elevating to playing more established artists. And with this being Black History Month, it's just great to be able to speak to the heroes in my life who've touched me and allowed me to pour into other people. So thank you.
Yeah.
I can't say thank you enough. Big shouts
Thank you,
to
brother. Yeah,
Tanyelle and everybody that you know helped make this happen. You guys
yeah.
are amazing.
Thank you. You're a good dude, man. I like you.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Is
Yeah,
there
man.
any words of encouragement that you could give a singer, young or old or mid age, whatever, just to, because you know, because some encouraging words.
Everything is so different now, man. The way we get access to the music, the whole streaming and you know thing. But I just think you have to be true to who you are, from a musical perspective to even, as a person, and I've been able to do that. And I think that's why, you know, I actually, this is the 40th anniversary of the release of Show Me. That was 40 years ago.
Mm.
Yeah. And
And when
I'm
you
still
listen to
singing
that
that
song
joint.
today, it feels like it was just almost yesterday. I mean, 'cause
Yeah.
it feels like it was just yesterday when the song came out. Because I was young when it came out,
Ooh.
but the song was fire.
Yeah, well, that's the timely but timeless, you know what
Yes,
I'm saying? Way to go.
yes.
So I appreciate that.
So you do shows with you've done shows with people.
Yeah, I've been on a couple of shows with people.
So that'd be
Right.
interesting when y'all both do show me. Like you got two fire show me's in the show. Oh, well, his is show and tell. Yours is show me.
Yeah, well, I recorded show and tell also.
Really?
Yeah, I did a remake album for
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and
okay,
I
okay.
did that on there. People, great singer. I was always inspired by him also. Always liked, appreciated his vocal ability,
Yes. I would love to hear a duet if possible with one day with you and Stephanie Mills. That would be fire.
Oh yeah, I've known Stephanie for a long time. I think that would be a great record.
Man, I mean, because it's like those y'all vocals. Like, was it? Is it hard? Was it hard? Is it hard or was it hard bringing those type of vocals together back in that time
Um, well,
with the labels and everything?
it depended on the song. A lot of
Okay.
people, they based their decision on collaboration uh, based off of the song. Sometimes, if you bring a song to the table and it's just killer,
Hmm.
then, people sometimes say, I got to get a piece of that, you know.
Yeah, well, that would be an amazing collaboration. I think.
Yeah.
Y'all could do Feel the Fire all over again or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great
You know,
song. Great song.
definitely. Well, I thank you once again for the opportunity for this interview, and celebrating Black History. It's 10 years of Solar Streets. I don't know what else to say, but thank you, and wishing you nothing, but continued success on your journey. And hopefully, you're gonna get to New York, a city winery.
Yeah,
And when you get there, I will be there,
yeah, yeah.
supporting because they got some good steaks in that place too. So.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I will be in
Well,
the building supporting
I
you.
look,
God
I
willing.
look, I look forward to meeting you, man. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, you too.